I want to call on Minister Farrakhan. I want to implore him to turn back to the agenda, which was not only a righteous agenda, but it made sense. This business of atonement, that I should atone for what? For being the descendant of the victims of the world commerce in human beings called the Afrikan Slave Trade? That I should atone for being the victim, a survivor of 300 years of systematic institutionalized oppression and abuse? And I must atone for that because I survived it? I must atone for the following conditions and reality? Again from the book, Betrayal by Any Other Name, on page 161, the chapter, the first crossover, appointed slave leaders of the 18th and 19th centuries. On the plantations, as well as many state legislatures, it had been long decided that the strength of the plantation system required that the slave never be permitted to read or write, that he never be encouraged to think about private property or private economic accumulations, that he never be permitted to question the norms of the plantation justice or its legitimacy, that he never be permitted to exercise control of his sexual behavior, or that he never be permitted to dream of freedom, to do anything more than to obey and work himself to death for his white master. Is this what I'm atoning for? Being the victim of this system, and my brothers and my sisters being the victim of having the masculine beauty, the masculine energy that makes us a whole human being denied us, taken from us, skewed and distorted and corrupted, to where you walk around with hatred in your heart for your father. You walk around with negative energy about masculinity. You walk around with contempt for masculinity, distrust for anything male. And you've been used. We've been used. This is a no fault, folks. I have no reason to apologize or to atone or ask forgiveness of any woman. And no black woman has an obligation or responsibility to ask me for forgiveness. Not at all. It's nonsense. This don't make any sense to the dumbest nigger in the world. And yet it's being hailed as something that makes sense. I understand the confusion of white people when they look at stuff like this and they say, what in the heck is going on? I know what's going on. It's the consequences of slavery, what's going on. It's the consequence of leadership that betrays a people time and time again for 30 pieces of silver. That's what's going on. And I'm sick of it. It's the consequences of the destruction of the black family, the systematic dismantling of roles, the confusion that's being created systematically by Hollywood and the press and the media, where men don't know what it is to be a man anymore, where false father figures we're gravitating to. There is a reservoir of hatred that has been systematically, institutionally developed, where black men are turning on themselves and eating themselves up like a jackal eats his own entrails. And white male, you're next. White middle class male, learn this lesson. Look at this picture clearly, because this is what's happening to you. But you've got your eyes on us because your environment is so pretty. The world that you live in is so well organized and so clean and pretty that you don't see the danger and the disease that's about ready to explode and consume you and your family. Because again, I say, the enemies of my people are your enemies also. They don't care nothing about you. If it wasn't for us, they would have kicked your butt a long time ago. We're the ones who keep white people together. White people don't like each other. It's an illusion that's going on. Take a look at your behavior in Europe. Wherever white people are there, left alone, they fight among themselves, talk about tribalism. The ruling class cares nothing about you, cares nothing about me and my people. We're only tools, we're only pawns in their game of let's keep control. Let's keep control. That's the game. And it's sad to see black men publicly going to be held to ridicule, to being debased, to where people can walk and say, you see, they even agree now that they ain't no damn good. They even agree now that they haven't stood up and been men. They agree now that they're responsible for their own conditions. And now we can unleash the full power of the contempt and wrath that we have stored up in the hearts and minds of the white working class and the white middle class, and put the final touches on this people as we take away the rights of everyone. We're being manipulated and used to take away freedom for everyone. Wake up, America. Wake up, America. Your freedoms are about ready to be dissolved under the conditions of anarchy and riot and confusion and frustration and deception. That's what's going on. The Million Man March should be of concern to every man, because there's dignity, there's truth, there's decency, there's common sense in taking an agenda of reparations. Whether you agree or not, that's logical. It's logical to state our case, because we've been oppressed, we've been attacked as a gender. It's appropriate that men go to war if need be for freedom. It's appropriate to tell women to stay home and do your job. Raise your babies. Educate them. It's appropriate. And that makes sense. But going to Washington to show unity, what kind of unity can there be in a community and in the psyches of people who haven't even gotten to the place of knowing who they are? Unity around what? I don't need any more leaders. I don't want any more false gods. We got enough of them. And my heart is heavy for the minister, because I know his heart is righteous, but he's getting some bad advice. He's getting some bad counsel. Just like Martin Luther King received bad counsel, and the intended purpose and impact of the March on Washington went down the tubes. And it was an opportunity missed. The promise of emancipation, 40 acres and a mule. How many times, how many more times can we stand being betrayed and abused and misused and blamed at the same time? I've had enough. I've been fed up and sick and tired. They should have never sent me to Vietnam, because I'm prepared to die here for freedom. Because like a damn fool, I was prepared to die there for something that didn't mean nothing to me. This means something to me. And I'm going to stand. And I'm not going to allow fear or even common sense cause me to shut up and give lip service, or allow my silence to say and to see the impending damage done to the psyche and the souls of already damaged human beings to be dramatized at the highest levels. Before the world, we're going to be humiliated. For the world, we're going to be debased. Before the world, we're going to be castrated and apologize to women. For what?